So, Crypto Universe, I'm back with another video and I got some more bullish news today. So, the first post here is actually from Hedera. It's a link to the World Economic Forum. There actually was an article written on the World Economic Forum by Nilman Rubin, who is the CPO at Hedera. And the title of the article is Why Interoperability is in decentralized finance and digital finance is now more than a nice to have. Again, like one common thing you're gonna see that Nil Mini is pointing out is just how important it is for these different blockchain based companies to be willing to work together. But I'm gonna go right into the article here. So the buzz around tokenization, the concept of transforming tangible assets like real estate or art into digital tokens on distributed ledgers isn't just hype anymore. It's hitting its stride. From from the halls of financial institutions to forward-thinking strategies of central banks and even everyday dynamics of commercial markets. Powerful current is pulling us forward towards a new frontier of money. Make no mistake, we're not just witnessing an evolution. The global financial system is reaching a major turning point. And quick side note, I definitely agree with that. In my opinion, and I've been saying this for the past several years, we are witnessing the early stages of the type of ground groundbreaking, earth-shattering change that will be documented and talked about hundreds of years from now. Like I think it's a very interesting time because it's happening right under our noses. But either way, continuing. Yet, while digital assets are speeding ahead, the tech and regulatory framework behind them isn't keeping up. Each blockchain still operates with its own governance, standards, and compliance assumptions. This fragmentation imposes real world frictions. Asset transfers become inefficient, liquidity is trapped in isolated ledgers, and regulatory visibility is hampered. Left unchecked, we risk replicating the very bottlenecks that tokenization was meant to solve. Don't let that go over your heads, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let that go over your heads. Those same problems that Nil Mini, I keep butchering her name, but Nil Mini Rubin, the same problems she's describing here. This is what traditional finance is dealing with every day. This is what banks deal with every day. And like she's saying, the technology we're witnessing, that we're investing in, that we're excited about, it was literally meant to solve this stuff. So to fast forward to the end of the article where she's making her final point, the bottom line is interoperability is no longer a nice to have. It is the foundation that will define whether global finance becomes programmable, resilient, and accessible, or if it gets left behind. Institutions and regulators must treat interoperability as a geopolitical and institutional strategic priority, enabling seamless liquidity and sustainable innovation across the digital economy. And I definitely agree. And for many years, we've seen many people who many of these people holding these high-ranking positions in government, they kept trying to downplay crypto. They kept pushing propaganda, implying that this was all one big scam. But at the end of the day, now you're seeing all of a sudden, you're seeing us the Genius Act being pushed in America, where they're now trying to hurry up and expedite the process to, well, in my opinion, expedite the process to get to the point where we have like a legit stable coin established in the country. And that's just in America. There's already been reports coming out saying that Europe is trying to hurry up and get their euro coin out in the public. And that's just two countries. There's many countries that have are way further in the process. They're not as powerful, but either way, it's it's something to be excited about. This is all happening right now in front of right under our noses. Next thing I'm going to get into here, it's a video that I want to play real quick. It's from, again, from Hedera. Hedera had an AI demo day. This is a post from Hashgraph Online DAO where Ty Smith, whose nickname is Patches, he talked about the importance of different blockchain networks being willing to work together, and why it's so important. Going back into the last article about interoperability, it's so important that they come together to try to really help this industry reach its full potential. So I'm gonna play the video right now.
This has been the coolest hackathon demo day I've ever been a part of. This hackathon was just so, usually they're proprietary, but just seeing the cross chain participation here, where we can see like this convergence of AI and Web3 is going to impact all networks. We're already seeing that it's going to impact everyone interacting with these networks, and that interconnectivity. So the ability to have that royalty payment for your data set instead of it just being a giant pinata that Facebook has and sells without you gaining any value. We're building those primitives and this cross patchwork of networks that are using AI to bring that usability to that user experience that's required for massive adoption. We can't do it if we're all fighting each other as networks. We can't do it if we're trying to tear each other down, but instead we all help each other build each other up. And that's really kind of
So
the,
yes,
the
I'm
through
gonna
line.
stop it right there. But yes, that I agree 100% with the point he's trying to make. So off one thing you'll definitely notice about the crypto space is it has a very tribal element to it. You'll see, like for many years, you had what people would call Bitcoin maxis, like people who were Bitcoin maximalists who were acting as if Bitcoin was the end all be all, and all of these other blockchain based companies and other cryptos were never gonna last and were just all like shit coins. And that sort of mentality, I think it's a bit silly because you have a right to invest in any one of these coins. And also, you have a right to hope that as many of these coins succeed as humanly possible. Like Patches is pointing out here, they're gonna be better off if they work together. Like you don't want to make the same mistakes these banks make where they're all isolated and they're going through all this unnecessary friction when they need to work together, when in reality you could just start from the jump right now to just make it set it up to where cross chain interoperability is automatic. We're not even gonna have to think about it. So I'm interested, especially because Hedera specifically, I believe, is one of the biggest sleeping giants in the crypto space. I believe Hedera will be the I don't want to say bridge because technically bridges has a different meaning, but it will be one of the main projects that will help put together the patchwork necessary to connect all these networks across crypto. But time will tell. That's my opinion though. The next post here is actually from the Bitcoin conference which happened recently. So there was an announcement at Bitcoin 2025, the big conference going on right now, or it was going on a few days ago, where the skull of Satoshi was donated to the Bitcoin Museum in Nashville, Tennessee. It was donated by Ripple, so this is actually a statue, or it's really a piece of art that Ripple donated to the Bitcoin Museum, which, I mean, from an artistic standpoint, me as an artist, I thoroughly enjoy looking at this. Like, it's a very dope piece of art. However, Brad Garlinghouse had a very interesting response to this, where he said the skull of Hitoshi was originally built to bring call to action. I mean, to call attention to blockchain energy use, and today it's a symbol and reminder of Bitcoin's incredible staying power to many around the world, including me. As crypto and blockchain technologies become widely used, respected, and understood, it's past time that we set aside our differences and work together to move the industry forward. And I hope this gesture continues to remind folks that we, Bitcoin, XRP, and other crypto communities have more in common than we think. Which that goes back to what I said earlier in the video. There is a major tribalism element in crypto for whatever reason, where people treat it as if it's like their favorite sports team and like they're not allowed to root for the success of any other cryptocurrency or any other blockchain based company. And it seems a bit silly because in this specific situation, if as many companies win as possible, if as many companies innovate as possible, it's better for the whole space compared to just only wanted there to be one big dog. But I do understand the original point of the piece of art that Brad Garlinghouse was referencing. Of course, he's calling out the fact that blockchain, specifically Bitcoin, requires a lot of energy use. Like, it's not very efficient. I think that's going to continue to be a bigger and bigger problem long term. However, like Brad pointed out, it's still at this point become a bigger symbol for the entire crypto industry, and the fact that it has not died, the fact that it has had staying power, the fact that it continues to make its presence felt, to make its presence felt. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Do you think that this statue, this piece of art of the skull of Satoshi is nice? Do you like this type of art? Also, do you think that Brad has a point when he says that these companies need to work together instead of acting as if they don't need each other?